Hello everyone, my name is the RetroDen and welcome to the first video of 2025 here on the channel. I hope everyone is having a great January so far and that all of you are excited for an entire year of gaming and life ahead of you. Today, we are here to talk about a recurring topic on the channel, which is the backlog. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips on how you could possibly approach your backlog for this upcoming season if you wanted to make it a smoother experience. I'd rather call it smooth than efficient, seeing as this year, and I've already said this in previous videos, I'm trying to not make it sound like a task that's arching over me as much as I used to. And that's where I'm starting off this video and laying out my first tip. Don't restrict yourself going into 2025. Being an avid consumer of gaming backlog related content this past few years and curating and tackling my own backlog has made me understand that a lot of people tend to put arbitrary roadblocks on their backlog journey, which makes it very hard to have a somewhat cohesive and enjoyable journey throughout your catalog of games. That being said, in 2025 I'd advise all of you to be more impulsive about your decisions, which can be of big help to all of you when it comes to the intricacies of the backlog. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine you're playing a game, but in the back of your mind there's this other game, be it a new release or an older game that you really want to play. So you start rushing through your current game or finding an excuse to drop it because in reality you just wanted to get straight to that other game. And I've seen this type of overthinking happen a lot, even with myself. In order to make the experience more fun for yourself, just play whatever you feel like in a moment-to-moment basis. If you're playing something but really are feeling like playing something else, maybe playing that something else is going to be what eases you into finishing other and more games. In the end, it's all a natural process of doing what your brain wants you to do. I know I found myself in this position in the beginning of this year, where I was playing Dragon Quest XI, but ended up switching to Bloodborne, which I got an urge to play all of a sudden from watching my friends play From Software games, and ended up having a lot of fun doing so. In sum, if you want to have a smoother experience come 2025, ease into your instincts and don't restrict yourself when it comes to switching games mid-playthrough, because in reality, you can always come back later in the year and relive those experiences at a later time. My next tip would be to simplify your organizing. This one was something that was really important for me and that I started doing last year and has really made my experience a lot better. For a long time I've seen people overcomplicate lists with Excel sheets and Google Sheets with how long to beat times, prices, platform, and a plethora of game information that was so irrelevant that it ended up leading to analysis paralysis. In the middle of 2024, I myself switched to a more simple style of tracking and organizing my backlog, which consisted of only listing my games in an iPhone notepad in which I would list the game name under the month that I beat it. As for cataloging, I just sticked with my PlayStation catalog and a separate Steam library group in which I curated all the games I really wanted to play. None of those overly complicated steps that can just lead to a more overwhelming state when it comes to analyzing your backlog. This year, I'm taking it on a different direction and I'm just sticking it all into this platform I've used here on the channel on a previous video called Backlogged, where I will be listing all games I'm currently playing, journaling games I've beaten, and leaving small reviews for every one of them I end up removing off the backlog. Seeing as we're talking about this, my backlog profile is in the description and I would love for you to throw me a follow over there so we can take the discussion even further outside of YouTube. And this leads me right into the next tip, which is having a creative outlet. Having a creative outlet can really boost your morale and willingness to tackle that new game. Maybe your creative outlet is just writing down a small review on Steam, and maybe your creative outlet is just like me, recording YouTube videos. Either way, having a community or a platform in which you can share your experiences and interact with other people and their own experiences is a good way to give you that small boost into starting a new game so you can later down the line discuss them with other people however you prefer. Play now, complete later. This one is for all of you completionists out there. It pretty much trickles down to what I've been talking about in other videos, which is about not hyper-focusing on your completions and focusing on experiences first. Depending on whether or not you want to 100% a game, if your priority for 2025 is your gaming backlog, You have to make a conscious choice and acknowledge that it is impossible to do everything at the same time. Now, I'm not saying you should abandon 100% in games completely, but I've personally found myself stressing out over completion criteria for games before even starting them, which ended up in me not playing them and leaving them to collect dust for another year or two in my backlog. That was the case with The Witcher 3, a game I had wanted to play for a long time, but never did due to the amount of small things the game needs you to complete in terms of achievements. But then, in the part of last year where I didn't have my PS5, I ended up playing it from start to finish on PC, and it easily became one of my favorite games of all time. Make time for replays. This one is a very niche one because it might not be for everyone, but for me, adding replays to my backlog is something that I found make me look forward even more to my backlog in 2024. There are experiences I haven't had in a long time when it comes to gaming, and I think mixing them with new games and games you haven't just played yet is a good way to keep stuff fresh but with a tad bit of familiarity. And last but not least, my tip for you would be actually play games. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how many videos you watch like this one. If you don't boot up and beat a game, you're not clearing anything out of that backlog. So make sure to free up some time out of your day, balancing it with other things that are important in life of course, and actually start playing through your games. More playing and less thinking will end up in results, and you will notice that backlog decreasing in no time. But that was all I had for you today, and I hope you're having an incredible start of 2025. Feel free to tell me how you're planning to tackle your own backlog for the rest of this year and discuss any of the tips further in the comments, since I always love to take discussions further. Since it's the end of the video, and I rarely do this, but I'd like to plug my channel membership. If you want to support me coming 2025, you can do so by becoming a member of the channel for just €2 per month, and you will have your name in the end of each video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future content coming this year, but other than that, this has been the Retro Den, and I'm out.